What does she have to fear if she's telling the truth? Time and time again, she accuses him of doing something, which then when you hear the full context is an absolute nothing burger. TMZ has gotten its hands on that video, and you can hear Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni interacting as themselves, knowing that this is all on video and that this is going to be used to create this dance scene. And no such moment is shown. Only reason this whole thing got started before she filed the lawsuit, she just went to the California Human Rights Office, is because she clearly cooperated with the New York Times to leak the whole thing.
Blake Lively had a complete breakdown in court, and believe me, it was amazing to watch. The legal battle is playing out like the most amazing courtroom drama you've ever witnessed, and Megyn Kelly is determined to uncover every single lie Blake has ever told. Hollywood's scandals are becoming more and more messy, so if you thought they couldn't get any messier, think again. Kelly has gone all out to gather a mountain of proof that dispels any possibility of doubt. She isn't holding anything back. We're talking about text messages, behind-the-scenes videos, and jaw-dropping receipts that totally upend the story. And Blake is fumbling to make us think that this is just harassment or some sort of personal vendetta. But as the truth comes to light, it's painfully obvious that her meticulously constructed public image is rapidly collapsing. Hold on tight, because this isn't just Hollywood rumors, it's a full-fledged show. We're gonna go into the wild west of the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni drama, and it's taken an even stranger turn. Do you recall the main accusation made in Blake's complaint, the one where she claimed that Justin had gone too far during the filming of a silent montage scene? It was supposed to be a professional moment, but Blake said it turned into something much more inappropriate after he leaned in and whispered something suggestive, and let's just say things got way too handsy for comfort. But you know what? Blake's claim is totally refuted by the raw footage that TMZ was able to obtain. The narrative presented in the video is completely different and in no way consistent with Blake's version of events. Blake and Justin are obviously playing for the camera in the video. They are flirting, laughing, nuzzling, and enhancing their chemistry in a way that makes it clear they are both on board. No hesitation, no awkward withdrawal, no indication of discomfort. It's suggestive, to be sure, but it's all part of the scene, and that's when the whole case begins to come to light, because now it's not just one person's word against another's. There is hard evidence, receipts, and every detail is out there for everyone to see, and Megyn Kelly is making sure there is no getting around the truth at this point. Kelly didn't mince words when she called Blake out for the on-camera moment, but instead of addressing the full context, Blake is doubling down and acting as though this was some sort of massive, unforgivable violation of her boundaries. It makes you wonder if Blake was lying all along, or if this was an attempt to control the narrative only for the facts to blow up in her face. One thing is certain, though, this is far from over, and Blake Lively's situation is getting worse with each new revelation. It's beginning to appear less like a sincere accusation and more like a planned hit piece if Blake's story is unraveling here. How many other details has she exaggerated or flat out fabricated at this point? Her claims have previously been viewed with skepticism, such as her earlier accusation against Justin's producing partner. When the whole story was revealed, it was revealed to be nothing more than an artistic, heartfelt photograph of the producer, his wife, and their newborn after a home birth. A raw, intimate family moment, completely misrepresented by Blake. Now, with new messages surfacing, we're witnessing yet another significant contradiction in her story. Blake's own texts tell a very different tale about her dynamic with Justin. She accused him of showing her something wildly inappropriate, painting the incident as disturbing and offensive. While she was nursing, she was the one who struck up conversations, sent him playful and suggestive messages, and even invited him over. There is no greater contrast between these exchanges and the victim narrative she is currently promoting. Megyn Kelly hasn't held back in calling out these contradictions, pointing out that Blake's actions, from purposefully giving the media access to private information to portraying herself as a helpless victim, do not match her accusations. She appears to have been attempting to manage the public's perception of the case from the beginning, but as new information becomes available, that version of events is beginning to unravel, heightening the drama. There has been a vigorous countersuit to Blake's lawsuit against Justin, which claims that he is guilty of SE in retaliation. Justin isn't backing down. He's coming out swinging, claiming that Blake is purposefully trying to silence him and damage his reputation. Now, the same person who brought this story to the attention of the New York Times is demanding a gag order, claiming that Justin is the one making it into a media spectacle. But let's face it, Blake was the one who initially brought this story to light. She was in charge of the narrative when it suited her, and now that her version of events is being questioned, Megyn isn't letting up, and neither is Justin's legal team. She has made it clear that if Blake is telling the truth, why is she so desperate to suppress evidence? There shouldn't be any reason to conceal anything if her allegations are true, but rather than letting everything be investigated publicly, Blake appears intent on silencing anyone who might disagree with her version of events. The tension isn't limited to the courtroom either. Observers noticed something wasn't quite right during the press tour, as Blake and Justin avoided any shared interviews, red carpet pictures, or any indication that they got along. Rumors of a rift between them naturally began to circulate. Despite the fact that the movie exceeded box office projections upon its August release, the true story was not its success, but rather the drama that unfolded behind the scenes, which has now turned into a full-fledged legal battle. Louis J. Lyman, a federal judge in New York, has scheduled the trial for 2026, but hostilities are already brewing long before either party appears in court. Blake's lawyers are now accusing Justin's legal team of releasing only certain evidence in an effort to sway public opinion. They allegedly created a website where the two celebrities share private correspondence and documents. Her lawyer has responded by demanding an end to what they describe as a relentless smear campaign and a halt to what they perceive to be defamatory statements made outside of court, implying that Blake may not be as innocent as she claims. In the meantime, Brian Fredman, who was representing Baldoni, defended their actions by saying that while they would respect the legal process, all they wanted was for people to see the actual text messages that directly contradicted the video footage of her allegations. That unequivocally demonstrates that there was no misconduct and all the other compelling evidence supporting these untrue allegations. Blake has responded by asking a crisis management expert to testify, claiming that the expert was responsible for a concerted social media campaign to incite public anger against her following the controversy. The conflict is being fought not only in court, but also in the media, and neither side is prepared to concede. This whole thing is getting out of hand, and the more we delve into it, the messier it becomes. Blake is presenting herself as the victim, but the evidence is beginning to show that Justin is actively trying to reveal what he believes to be the truth rather than merely defending himself. Once again, the conflict between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has intensified, and this time, evasive accusations won't cover it up. Everything is coming to light, and if you thought the drama was at its height, you're mistaken. Things have only gotten wilder. According to TMZ, Justin and his team have fulfilled their pledge to be transparent by releasing private communications between them, including a nearly 7-minute voice memo that he sent her at 2 a.m. Blake recently accused Justin in the New York Times of inappropriate behavior and implied that she was the victim of a planned smear campaign. However, Justin isn't just responding with words. He's bringing with him receipts, and not just any receipts, the kind that can completely flip the narrative she's been pushing. We'll get to that lengthy late-night message in a moment, but first, let's go back in time and examine why Justin felt the need to take things this far. According to sources, Blake wanted total creative control over the movie, but not in a collaborative, team-oriented manner. She tried to control the project by rewriting scenes, dictating direction, and excluding Justin from important decisions. In Hollywood, this level of authority is normally reserved for directors, writers, or producers, but Blake was none of those. On Justin's side, she used her fame and, let's face it, her husband, Ryan Reynolds, to pressure him into ceding control. This is where things take a sharp turn. Justin alleges that Blake's harassment accusations weren't just unfounded, they were calculated. He believed that she used the accusations as a weapon to deflect criticism from her own purported behind-the-scenes activities. He claims that after going above and beyond to satisfy her incessant demands, he was taken by surprise when she changed the script, followed by the voice memo. Yes, the notorious voice memo, which was a 7-minute apology at 2 a.m. from a man who is alleged to have engaged in harassment. That in and of itself begs some important questions. Desperation is evident in Justin's message as he practically grovels in apology and makes it painfully obvious that he is afraid of upsetting Blake and Ryan. He even makes a joke about her listening to his digressions while nursing at one point, but the real question is, who keeps something like this? The answer is straightforward: someone who is aware that they must safeguard themselves against an impending PR catastrophe. But the drama extends beyond their personal conflict. This is also a conflict over public opinion. This is where things take a turn. Blake's accusations sparked a media frenzy, with major publications like the New York Times questioning whether they had been coerced into publishing a negative narrative about her, and a claim that Justin was behind a planned smear campaign to damage her reputation. The first shots were actually fired by Blake's public relations team, according to heavyweight entertainment lawyer Brian Fredman, who spread unfavorable rumors about Justin before he ever struck back. The stakes are high, and Blake might have underestimated the amount of resistance she had encountered. Let's go back to the main problem now. Justin was more irritated with Blake's control than with his lack of creative input. She allegedly wanted to run the show, not just be in the movie, and when she was unable to do so, she allegedly used her accusations against Justin as a weapon. With the advent of voice memos and text messages, what began as a straightforward case of conflicting stories has become much more complex. Justin's role as the saga's purported antagonist is beginning to seem less plausible. Rather, he seems to be a man torn between his own artistic vision and a powerful Hollywood couple. Justin's well-known image as a progressive, emotionally intelligent man, shaped by his book Man Enough, Defining My Masculinity, and his subsequent podcast, adds to the intrigue. However, some commentators are beginning to wonder if his constant apologies and accommodations for others have made him, in their words, a pushover. According to some, he has become so overcorrected that he has lost sight of his own boundaries. Oh no, but the real twist is about to come. With each new piece of evidence, Blake's attempts to steer the narrative appear to be backfiring spectacularly. From the late-night voice memo to the flirtatious breastfeeding text, her credibility is further damaged. She is finding it more difficult to stick to the victim narrative. What started out as a daring attempt to restore her reputation is turning into a PR disaster that is being compared to Amber Heard's demise. Blake's situation isn't looking good at the moment, and the court of public opinion can be cruel. What comes next? They're just getting started, according to Justin's team. If Blake believed she could control the story, more texts, emails, and possibly even more Vaux memoranda might soon surface. She might have misjudged the extent to which Ryan Reynolds would go to defend himself. He is incredibly silent. Is he silently protecting his interests behind the scenes, or is he purposefully avoiding the drama? One thing is for sure, Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively has reached an unprecedented height, and Baldoni is now requesting an outrageous $400 million in damages. That sum is nearly 4 times Lively and Reynolds' combined net worth. The main query is whether he has a realistic chance of earning even close to that sum. Family law lawyer Rayford Dalton Palmer is among the legal experts who believe it's more of a publicity stunt than a practical legal objective. The figure was thrown out of thin air by Palmer, who is not directly involved in the case. Inflated damage claims are common in lawsuits, which combine legal strategy with media spectacle, but $400 million? That's attempting to purchase an entire galaxy, not just the stars. Nevertheless, Baldoni may have a case for Blake, given everything that has surfaced regarding his alleged behavior. However, this is about more than just money. It's about repairing his reputation after Blake's accusations led to his dismissal from WME and his loss of the coveted Women's Solidarity Award. In addition to harming his career, those accusations made him a popular target for cancel culture. His lawsuit now aims to clear his name rather than merely obtain monetary compensation. Quite simply, this case is Baldoni's attempt to correct the record and send a strong message to Lively, according to Niyama Ramani, president of West Coast Trial Lawyers. After months of public scrutiny that claimed that even with a strong legal team, the $400 million demand seemed more like a public relations ploy than a real expectation, he sees it as an opportunity to regain control of the narrative. Mitra Shahi, a legal analyst, concurs, referring to the outrageous amount as a negotiating chip. rather than a practical settlement objective. Baldoni would need to persuade the judge that he was on course to earn $500 million prior to Lively and Reynolds allegedly ruining his career if he hopes to win anything close to that sum. By setting the bar so high, Baldoni and his team may be trying to pressure Lively and Reynolds into a settlement, saving everyone from a protracted, ugly legal battle. That's a big order, even by Hollywood standards, so why push for such a jaw-dropping amount of leverage? Even though it's a high-stakes game, it might be worthwhile in the age of cancel culture. Lively and Reynolds might suffer a severe financial setback if Baldoni is successful in obtaining even a small portion of his claim. It is estimated that they have a combined net worth of $11,500,000. According to reports, Lively is worth $30 million and Reynolds is worth $771,500,000. If Baldoni leaves with anything approaching his demand, it could potentially ruin their entire financial future and put their reputations at risk. But at its heart, this case is about conflicting narratives rather than money or public relations strategies. Lively claims that after speaking out, she was mistreated and then demonized. After going above and beyond to accommodate her on set, Baldoni says the accusations were made up as part of a bigger plot to discredit him. Hollywood insiders are keeping a close eye on the situation, and the tension is at an all-time high. Will Baldoni's audacious legal move succeed or fail miserably? There is no doubt that this legal battle is far from over, and if Hollywood loves anything, it's a scandal that never goes away. The stakes are only going to get higher as the drama progresses because, let's face it, Blake and Justin are both playing with fire, and eventually someone will get burned.